everybody, welcome to this video tutorial. Today we're going to look at variable scope in Python. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to design a function here called input num. We're going to create a variable and we're going to assign a number from the keyboard. Let's use the input function. Enter a number. Okay. Now let's quickly run this program and just make sure I haven't made any stupid syntax errors before we continue. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so that works so far. In main, of course, we're calling that function. We are also calling the displaynum function and the multiply function. But as you can see, they don't have any code in them yet. We're just using a placeholder. And we'll delete that later as we code these functions. This is just my initial design idea. Now, the displaynum function wants to display the value of num. So let's do that. And if we run the program, let's see if it works. We get an error. Okay, num is not defined. So the problem here is two functions, the input num function and the display num function, both want to use this variable. But at the moment, this variable is local to the input num function. Only the input num function can see this variable. Okay, we need to make it global. So in Python, this is how to do it. Before we start using the variable, just declare it as global. And then all of the functions in the program can see the variable. Okay, so if we run the program again, hopefully the display num function will display the number. There it is. So it worked. Okay, we printed the value of num because num is now a global variable. Now the multiply function, what the multiply function wants to do is it's going to create another variable, and let's use an int input again. Let's multiply num by something, so we'll just tell the user to enter a number. So we're going to get a number from the keyboard, and then we're going to use that number to update num. Num equals num multiplied by multiplier. Okay, so we're updating the value stored in this global variable. Okay, now in the main program, after we call multiply, which will do that for us, let's just call displaynum again so we can see the result of that. So we're going to input a number, we're going to display the number, then we're going to update the number by multiplying it, and then we're going to display it again. Okay, so let's run the program, see if it works. Let's just see where we are. We're in this function here at the moment. We've called input num, so we jump up to input num. This is where we are at the moment. Enter a number. So then that finished, and we jumped to the display num function, and it printed the number. There it is. Then that finished. Then we jump to the multiply function, so we come up here, and we're now here. So let's multiply it by 10. Oh! Local variable num? No! I made num global. And the display num function was happy? No problem. The issue here is the multiply function wants to change the value of num. And in Python, if you want to change the value of a global variable, you need to use that global keyword again. Yep, Python is weird. Okay, so a multiply function is saying, hey, I want to mess around with a global variable, so I need to do this. Multiplier is local. Multiplier is a local variable in the multiply function. No other function needs to use it. It's a local variable. But in multiply, we want to change the value of a global variable. We need to do this again. Okay, So let's just run the program one more time and convince ourselves that everything is working as expected. Let's multiply by 10. Yay, it works. So take a moment to consider how to use the global keyword when we want to create global variables in our Python programs.